So hey guys, this is ThorW, and I'm here for a quick response to the Spectate Faker thing that went down on Reddit, on Twitter, on the Riot forums for League of Legends, stuff like that. And normally I wouldn't do a big video on this, but this is kind of an important thing. So Riot's official response to this, and it's good that there was resolution, is that they will take down the Spectate Faker stream completely and utterly. And it's going to be the end of that stream. So addressing the response itself, there are some good and some bad parts about it. The good part of this response is that a resolution was reached at the very least, and Tryndamere explained his thought process behind all of his responses and whatnot, as he was the most public voice of Riot for this entire thing, and that's good. Tryndamere almost said he was sorry in the official response. He was this close. He was this close. He gets a gold. He gets at least a silver, maybe a gold star for effort. You can put that on the fridge. So what they basically said is that, this comes into some of the bad parts about that, is that the Riot never set an actual precedent for the situation at hand. They didn't say that these are the new binding rules about streaming from our API or anything like that. All they said is that they will look into them on a case-by-case basis. And, I mean, that is just a little bit... Look into them on a case-by-case basis. That says nothing. That says nothing more than someone has to report them, and then they will take the time and manpower to look into it. So, no actual precedent set. If anything, they set the precedent that if you're a large company and you have a problem with a small guy and you send them in an illegal DMCA, you will not be punished. Riot will not seek any punishment for you, and you're good enough with a slap on the wrist and a wag of the finger. Now, I know it's not Riot's job to seek out false DMC claims and punish them, but in this case, they're directly involved with this case, and by extension, they're involved with Azubu, and a little bit partnered with Azubu in the thought process that they took Azubu's side. This is kind of bad PR in my opinion for this, right? They're not going to punish Azubu on an illegal action towards one of their players, and they say specifically in this post that they are. Tryndamere said his thought process behind it was the protection of his players. Well, protect your players. A large multi-million-dollar company just threatened legal action to one of your players that was doing absolutely nothing illegal. So, that's a little unfortunate. Another issue I got with this is there were constant Strawman cases brought up in this particular response. For example, there's one that says, imagine a scenario in which a player was targeted by an unwanted stream of all his ranked games and all his ranked games were broadcast to a crowd who made fun of him and his gameplay. Says it right there. Another one on top of that is, imagine a stream targeting a female player, where a narrator or automated system harasses her and comments on every move she makes in every game she plays online. Well, none of this happened at all. None of that at all happened in this situation. Strawman scenarios are fun for the what-ifs and the imagination play, but they aren't this scenario that you're supposed to be handling. Don't talk about scenarios that didn't happen or scenarios that don't matter. Talk about this scenario. Tell us exactly why you took the stance for that. Everything else is just filler, is just crap, it's nothing. Do a better job of explaining exactly why you wanted to take the stance you did. Because that's very unsatisfying to say, well, what if this happened? It could spiral into that. Slippery slope and Strawman cases are bullshit. Give us the straight reason why. In addition, they've got another statement out there that says, what is it? It's, we will intervene and shut down streams where we perceive it's causing harm to individual players. So, this is vague enough that we can... Let's go down a slippery slope right here, just like how you used your straw man and your slippery slope arguments before. So, you say that anything that potentially harms individual players, and in your statements before, you say that means their reputation, their brand, their image, any potential monetary gains, anything that interferes with their contract, etc., etc. In which case, that means you got to take down a few of the bigger names on Twitch, the bigger streams. Just as an example, there's Trick2G. Now, I personally don't have a problem with Trick2G. I like the guy. He's perfectly good to watch. But on his stream, he has Spectate come up now and again. He has his own games where he will zoom straight in onto a player where either they do an outplay or get outplayed. Someone's getting outplayed either way. And then, you know, that's some bad reputation bashing just by showing that, calling it out, stuff like that, taking the time to call it out. So these players that get made fun of right there, and then, you know, the entire Twitch stream makes fun of them, calls them bad because they get outplayed and stuff. You know how this works. So by your logic, that player should be able to send a report ticket to you of exactly what happened. If they have any sort of evidence towards it, then you should probably take down Trick2G's stream there. That's what you're going with, right? I don't think that's what you meant. I don't think that's what you meant for people to try and do. But you have really vague language contained throughout this post that really needs to be cleared up. There needs to be some actual groundwork for this. And finally, there's similar streams to this in this situation that have been seen in the past on Chinese streams, which usually get, or at least they're showing, higher numbers for stuff like that. And you need to go, Riot, since you're taking this stance, you need to go seek those out and take the time to look for those. Legitimacy of this currently being there, it's just a maybe, but, you know, this is a maybe something bad will happen. There's our slippery slope again. Let's travel down it, Riot. And finally, the most unsatisfying part of this, the second most unsatisfying part, the most unsatisfying part is Zubu getting off scot-free with a DMC and harassment towards Spectate Faker. But one of the more unsatisfying parts is there was not an apology to be had from Tryndamere. I'm going to pull up this page one more time. I'm going to search the word sorry. Let's see. One in the comments. Apologize. In the comments. Apologies. Not available. The official post has nothing whatsoever in it about saying I'm sorry to Spectate Faker for the public backlash that he received from not only the League of Legends player base and stuff, but from Tryndamere himself, one of the CEOs of Riot, who on Twitter, on Reddit, spoke falsehoods about what was going on the stream because he was a little uninformed, and there was a little bit of public bullying there, which Tryndamere says, public bullying's bad, you should be punished for that. And they danced around the idea of saying, I'm sorry, but they don't directly say it at all. And this is, it's kind of a thing because there's no issue of an apology from Azubu either for their threat of legal action towards someone not committing any illegal activity. That is a multi-million-dollar corporation bullying one of your players, Riot, who you say is so important, and you say you will always take the side of the player himself and the individual interests of that player. Azubu, a multi-million-dollar corporation, went against those individual interests, threatened legal action, basically, and wasn't even forced to so much as give an apology for their actions. Tryndamere said he's sorry on the Reddit post, but not the official post. Whoever wrote Tryndamere's response there, not the clearest thing there. You didn't say I'm sorry there for the public backlash that Spectate Faker had to deal with and stuff like that. And the, the two multi-million-dollar corporations bearing down on the guy that happened to want a stream of Faker and have a public forum for people to talk about one of his favorite players. Hopefully in the future, Riot can handle this a little bit better, because if they can't even think that, hey, you know it's good PR, apologizing for the overheated and overly quick response of our CEO, if you can't even think that that's good PR, then I don't know how you can handle the actual problems when they come up. So I'd like to know what you guys think about this whole situation. Leave me a comment here, leave it on Reddit. I'd like to see it, guys. So hope this was a little bit informative. Hope you got some discussions for me. I'll see you later then.